Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Monday. Hope everyone had a great weekend. We're off to a new week here. Week is almost over with. Well, the week's not over with. Month is almost over with. We got obviously a couple more days here in September, and we're going into December. So we'll take a look at the markets, see what happened there. Markets were actually down today. Bitcoin was actually up today, which was kind of nice because I talked about it a little bit yesterday about it, thinking that it's going to possibly go up, at least on the 1 hour chart. It looks like it was turning to be a little bit bullish. And we did get that today. Ethereum, same thing. So we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at the miners, see how they did as well. And then we'll also take a look at, is Hodl actually helping miners out as far as from their July, June lows? Has that helped them out at all? So we'll take a look at the numbers that we have for them and do a little bit of math on it as well. So that is it for that. And as always, not financial advice. You guys know the drill here. I'm invested in the following coins and companies. This is obviously for entertainment only. Do your own research as always. If you enjoy this type of content, please hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. And let's get into the markets here really quick. So obviously the S&P was down 1.03% today. Dow Jones was down 1.11%, and the NASDAQ was down 0.6% on the day. And you can see here for the most part, all over the world, markets have been down today. And let's take a look at Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin right now is at 19,230. We are seeing a little bit of possibly a triangle formation here happening. And we'll see if we stay in these lines and go above it or if we fall below it here on the triangle. We are on the RSI about 44 on the daily chart right now. It is still flat here from probably around here. Here we were higher in price. So on the daily, it's still looking a little bit negative or bearish. But if we look at the 1 hour chart here, we can see that the RSI has obviously come way up today to a peak here. And that peak is higher than we were back here. And the price was also slightly higher. So on that time frame, we're starting to look too good. But if we look at the closer range, RSI is at 58 here. We were at 58 over here. And we are actually higher in price. So that's possibly a good sign there. We were also at right around 58 here, 59 here at this point, which brings us to over here, and we were still higher in price. So that's still a good trend right there, at least in the short term. We need to see that reversal happen in the daily chart before we can possibly say that we're going to be going up for a while here. So, and with September ending, I think we might be actually going into October. October is usually a pretty good month, but we'll take a look at a monthly chart for Bitcoin and its performance in the past, and we'll see what's going on there as well. Let me see here. What else do I want to show you guys? Oh, Ethereum. So Ethereum is at 1,337. On the 1 hour chart, we're looking, RSI has been kind of flat here the last couple of hours, but price has been going up. So that's a good sign short term as well. So I think we may be going up here, at least in the short term. But like I said, we need to see a reversal on the daily chart. In order for that to happen, we need obviously quite a few more days for that to be possibly seen here. Because if we're looking at the RSI and the Ethereum right now at 41 here, if we go back just a little bit to September 17th, we were obviously higher in price. So we're still not seeing it here, at least on the daily chart right now. So that's where we are with the miners. Let's take a look at, or Ethereum and Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the miners here really quick. So I wanted to look at a couple of things here with the miners today. We want to see where they were in the bottom part of June towards July. How far did they go up and how far have they come down from their peaks here really quick. So we'll do this for every one of them just to kind of get a feel for what's going on in the market here. So if we look at the bottom here, we reached on ANY on Sphere 3D. They were at about 52 cents. They did go up approximately to the peak here, 71% before coming back down. And then they have fallen down since then, to right about there. Their lowest 50% down from that point in the last basically 3 months or so. So we had basically part of June, July, August. Yeah, basically 3 months or so that we're down now on them. Argo, same thing. It had bottomed out here around June 17th. It went up to a nice peak here of 82% gain from there. Whoops, let's go back to it. And from there we have, that's what I want to do. They've fallen since then about 48%, giving back on it. And let me see here, right around 47%. They're down from their peak here. So obviously, Annie was down today 17.51% to 45 cents. Argo was down up actually 5% to 37 cents. Bit Digital was down 2.5% to $1.17. It bottomed here on the 16th of June, and it went up to a high of $2.11 roughly, and that was 76% gain on that one. And it has fallen down since then approximately 46% to a low of $1.13. Next is Bitfarms. Bitfarms is down today 3.74% to $1.03. It bottomed here, looks like, right around July 1st or so, July 5th. And it's gone up approximately in that time frame to August 15th, where it peaked at about 124% increase on them. And they have obviously fallen quite a bit down from here. To today, they are down to about 56% from there overall. So pretty much giving back all of its gains here in the last couple of weeks. And that's Bitfarms. Next is CleanSpark. CleanSpark was up 0.64% to $3.13. It looks like it kind of bottomed out here right around here on July 5th. And if we look at it, how far it's gone up, it went up actually quite a bit before pulling back down, 81%. And it has fallen obviously quite a bit here from that time frame. We've obviously fallen down to about 55 at the close on Friday, or to the low on Friday. We have obviously picked back up a little bit to about 54% down from that period as well. So obviously the miners are being beaten down quite a bit. Cores bottomed out here at approximately June 30th, and it was down 2.8% today to $1.39. It went up approximately 148%, so a huge gain for them in that time span. It has basically given all of that back already, and then some. Let's see here, how far are we down now? We're about 60% down, so we're a little bit lower than we were in the previous low of June. Next is DigiHost. DigiHost was up today 0.33% to 72 cents. It bottomed out here right around July 5th, it looks like. It didn't go up too high. It only went up 73% increase before it went back down, and that was reached on August 12th. Now from here, it has obviously fallen down further, and this was basically here on September 2nd. It fell the most. It looks like it was down approximately 61%. It is down currently now about 54%, looking at the chart here, in about 45 days. Next is DMG. DMG was down 1.95% today to 18 cents. It fell. The previous bottom here was on June 22nd. And from there, it went up quite nicely, 109%, 110% roughly, before pulling back down. And that was reached on August 15th. From there, it fell to about 48%. And I think that's, 49% was the lowest here that we had on it today. But we're still not below our previous 52-week low here that we reached in June, obviously. So that's DMG. Greenidge was up 2.58% today to $1.99. It reached its low, looks like, right around here on July 5th as well. From there, it went up 100%, 102%. That was reached on August 15th. From there, it went down to today, about 59%, 60% roughly. It has come back down. High was down 3.73% to $3.61. It bottomed out here, looks like, right around June 14th. And from there, it went up a nice 164% in the rally that we've had, obviously. And from there, it has come back down quite a bit. It has come down, let's see here, 52% right now. And it is still not, obviously, below its 52-week low that we reached back in June. So that's obviously a good sign there. Let me see here. And I'm missing my RSI. My RSI went away. That's okay. Next is HUT. HUT-A was up 1.18% today to $1.71. It reached its previous low here. It looks like right around here on July 5th. From there, it went up 190% in August 15th. So pretty much everything that we're seeing now, it looks like around August 15th was the peak before coming back down. And it's come back down to about 54%. roughly 53, 54%, and it's still not below its 52-week low here that was reached in July. So that's also good. Iris Energy was down 4.63% today to $3.50. It bottomed out here on June 23rd, right around there, and it went up 139% this was on August 11th. From there, it has fallen down to a bottom of 51%, almost 49%, 50%, right around there in the last, obviously, 46 days. Next is Luxfolio. Luxfolio was up today quite nicely, 16.27% to basically almost 6 cents. It looks like it had bottomed here possibly around June 16th, if not June 29th. So we'll just use that number here, go up to August 9th, possibly August 8th was its peak here at 71% up, 72% being up. And then it has obviously fallen down to a low yesterday that it reached, or Friday. It was down right around 65%. It's up a little bit now, so it's down 59% currently. Marathon was up today 1.48% to 96 cents. It bottomed out here on July 5th, it looks like. From there, it went up, way up. This one was driving the market here in the Bitcoin miners. It was up about 260%. From there, it has went down about 40. Well, the bottom here on Friday was about 50%. It's down about 49% right now from that. Mawson was down 18.07% today to 44 cents. It kind of bottomed out here on June 30th. Well, it hasn't really bottomed out. It's continued to go down, but we're looking at where the miners were bottoming out for the most part. It looks like it possibly bottomed out here on July 27th, and then gone back up a little bit. It went up 50% in price and has retraced from there, and it's down about 60% right now. So not a good sign for Mawson. Rye was up 5.85% to $6.70. It bottomed out on July 5th here, and it went up quite nicely as well. It went up almost 162%. This was August 11th, where it peaked, and then it has fallen down to last Friday was at a low of 43% down. It obviously rebounded here on the day today and Friday as well, and it has up now it's down only 36%, so it's kind of rebounding as well. So Luna was up 14% today to $1.71. It also bottomed out here, it looks like, right around here, it looks like June 29th. Went up a little bit, didn't go up too much. It only went up 57% from there. And from there, it has basically went down 75%. And this was reached on last Thursday. It bounced Thursday, came back down on Friday, and then obviously bounced today a little bit. So it's down about 71% right now. And finally, we got Stronghold was down 7.27% to $1.02. It bottomed out here on June 30th, right around there. It peaked, it looks like, well, it peaked twice, it looks like. It peaked here on July 22nd. It was up 155%, came back down, being up only 49%, and then went back up here, 156%, and then after that, it has obviously fallen pretty hard, down 72% right now. It continues to fall, looks like 73%. So that's the miners there. Obviously, a mixed bag here on them, along with markets were down. Bitcoin was actually up today, so that was actually a good sign of a little bit, going up in price. But let's take a look at the historical chart for Bitcoin here. And this is for every month, basically how it performed going back to 2010 of October. And we can see here, specifically the September month, we're down right now about 3.57% in the month. We still have a couple more days to go. We'll see where we end up at. But we can see here historically the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we get a negative month this time around, will be 6 years in a row where September has not done well for Bitcoin. We've had only basically 4 years out of the last 12 years that we were positive on in Bitcoin. The average is we're down about 4.78 per month. Total, we're down, if we're looking at September, we're down 66.98% overall from just in general, and based on the numbers here. And October is looking to be possibly a little bit better month, but based on what I'm seeing here, that we had 3 green years in a row, 1 red year, 3 years in a green in a row, green, 1 red year. I'm hoping that we don't see the same trend happening here again, where we have a red month coming up in October. Historically, obviously, we've been up 26.39% on average. Total, we're up 369% in October overall. So that wouldn't be too bad. And then looking into November, we see that we were down last year. The year prior, we were up. And then prior to that, we were down 2 years. And then we had 6 years of green. So we are usually up 39% in the month of November, which might be a good sign. We might be actually green. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're in the red in October, green in November, and then possibly, we'll have to see. Obviously, right now, we're only up 11.46% typically in December. But we did have, last year was down. Year prior, we were up. And then prior to that, we were down 2 years, up 3 years, down 2 years, and up 3 years. So it is kind of a mixed bag here. We're almost 50% on as far as whether we're in the green or in the red in December. So it'll be interesting to see. Okay. So that's kind of what we're looking at here as far as historical data on Bitcoin is concerned. So like I said, we'll see what October brings us. November's going to be interesting as well. Right now, October looks like we may have a green month, possibly a red month. Depending if history repeats itself, we may have a red month. So just wanted to point that out to everyone. And let's get into, does the actual Bitcoin hodl help out the miners as far as having a lower, being beaten down less than some of the other miners? So let's take a look at the numbers that I have here. We'll go over it and we'll call it a day. So I took all of the numbers that we have for all the miners that we track, Marathon, Argo through Marathon or through Soluna Sphere 3D. And the first way that I did this is by including their hodl position. This is the hodl position at the end of August for all these miners. So we can see that obviously Marathon has about 10.3 thousand Bitcoins in hodl. Hut has about 8.1, Riot about 6.7, Hive 3.5, Bitfarms 2.1 thousand, Core Scientific 1.4, Argo 1,000, almost 1.1 thousand, BitDigital 919, CleanSpark 526, DMG 362, DigiHost 177, Sphere 75, and then Iris, Greenidge, Mawson, and Soluna all 0. This is their current share price right now that they ended up today. And then I basically took from their bottom back in June, July time period, whatever that was, like we just went over here in just a little bit ago. And I wanted to see how far up they were from that point. And this is what we're getting. So Marathon is up 84.34% from that June bottom, June-July bottom. Hut 8 is up 34.45%. Riot is up 65.78%. Hive is up 28%. Bitfarms is actually down 1.16%. Core is down 1.14%. Argo is up 4.87%. BitDigital is down 1.52%. CleanSpark is down 16.56%. DMG is up 9.22%. DigiHost is down 21%. Sphere is down almost 12%. Iris is up 20%, 20.5%. Greenidge is down 17.32%. Mawson is down 54%. And Soluna is down 54% from that bottom period back in June and July. So now that we have basically the percentages that they're down, we can see here that if we go by percentages, let's sort this by percentages first. So we'll do this descending. So here are the numbers for them. Marathon is up the most right now from their bottom. They're up 84, followed by Riot, but obviously Marathon's hodl position is number 1. And then I also included their BTC production for the last 3 months. They came in at the number 10 spot at only 386 BTC produced for the last 3 months. So that's June, July, basically August period. We don't have the numbers for September yet. We'll get those in possibly next week sometime. But based on that, obviously them being up 84% here does tend to bode well for the theory that hodl impact is actually something that might be viable, right? That the more you hodl, the more likely you are to go less down, I guess. This is the way I'm trying to say it. So they are up 84%, 10th spot in BTC production. So obviously we're not looking at BTC production here for them. And they obviously have number 1 spot in hodl. So next is Riot. Riot is in the number 3 spot for hodl. They are in the number 5 spot for BTC production, which is 1,113 BTC produced in the last 3 months. So and they're up 65.78%. Okay, so that kind of also bodes well for this possible theory here. HUT8 is, let me see here. HUT8 is in the number 2 spot for Hodl. It is up 34.45% from that period, but it is 6th spot when it comes to BTC production in the last 3 months. So that kind of bodes well as well for this kind of theory. And then Hive is in the number 4 spot for Hodl. It is in the number 3 spot for BTC production as well. So that obviously also adds to the credibility of this theory possibly. But then you have Iris here. Iris is Hodl position is number 13. They don't have any Hodl position. Their stock price is up 20% from their bottom here, right around June, July. They are in the number 9 spot for BTC production at 603 BTC produced in the last 3 months. So that one kind of puts a little monkey wrench into the whole theory here. They're up 20%, but obviously no HODL position. Their production isn't the greatest. It's a little bit less than the average or lower than the average. Average would have been if they came in at around number 8. So they're a little bit lower than that. So, but they have been growing really well, and their BTC per pet hash has been pretty good for the last couple of months, where they are coming in number 2 spot, number 3, number 1 spot sometimes for that. So that also bodes well for them. So that's the only one here that's kind of doesn't fit into all this, and especially Marathon here with their, Marathon obviously with their BTC production being so low and being in the number 10 spot. But their HODL is obviously way up there, so that could obviously help them out. Next is DMG. DMG is in the 10th spot when it comes to HODL at 362 BTC. They have only mined 199 BTC in the last 3 months. They're in the 15th spot. So I'm surprised that they are still up 9.22% from that period, where they haven't been beaten down as much as some of the other miners, which is surprising based on their pretty low HODL position and their very low production numbers here. Argo is in the number 7 spot for HODL. It is in the number 8 spot for BTC production, so they're right around the average mark here. On the miners, 633 BTC produced in the last 3 months. And, I mean, that one kind of, you could say that one kind of fits in a little bit. They do have a pretty good HODL position of 1,000, almost 1,100 BTC. They're in the number 8 spot here for production, and they came in at the number 7 spot overall as far as how much they're up from their bottom or from the low of June and July. So that kind of, I can see that one happening. Okay, so that kind of adds into this theory possibly as well. Then you got Core Scientific. Core Scientific is obviously in the number 6 spot when it comes to HODL with 1,400. Their BTC production, however, is outstanding at 3,661. So they're in the number 1 spot when it comes to HODL. So based on this information, if we're going by just production, they would be number 1, right? They should be by number 1. But looking at this, we can see obviously that the HODL position here for Marathon is at 10.3 thousand, and they're in the number 1 spot. It kind of leads to the theory that HODL does impact the price performance of the stock market or the miners actually. Excuse me. So that so that also kind of corresponds to it as well. Then you got Bitfarms. Bitfarms is in the number 5 spot for HODL position at 2,128. They're in the number 2 spot at 1,454 BTC being produced in the last 3 months. So they're the second, obviously behind just Core Scientific. When it comes to production of BTC, their numbers are always really good. They're growing really well as also. So I'm surprised that they wouldn't be, well, they're not down too bad. They're only down 1.16% from their lows in June, July. I would have thought they would have been a little bit better. Same thing with Core. But obviously it looks like I said, the theory of HODL helping the miners does seem to bode well here. And then you got Bit Digital at number 8 spot for HODL, number 11 spot for BTC production. This kind of makes sense a little bit. I would have thought that they would have been down a little bit more. But the thing with Bit Digital is they obviously have, I think, pretty much all of their miners paid for. They're just waiting to get them to their facilities, for their hosting facilities to get installed. So I can see why that one's not being beaten down as much. Next, you got Sphere 3D. It is number 12 spot for BTC HODL and number 16 spot for BTC production. 37 BTC in the last 3 months. They're averaging about 11, 12 BTC being produced per month. And they're only down 11.98%. I would have, by my accounts, they should have been towards the bottom here on the list, getting a little bit more pounded than some of these other ones here that are getting pounded. Next is CleanSpark. CleanSpark is HODL position number 9, 526 BTC produced. They are number 4 spot when it comes to BTC production, 1,118 BTC produced in the last 3 months. And they're down here being down 16.56%. So we also know that they've been growing like crazy, which you would think that would get a little bit of a premium, or at least a little bit of a bounce, especially the way that they're growing by not diluting shares and everything else. But it is what it is. It looks like this also coincides with possible HODL impact, right? Had they had maybe more HODL, could they have been up higher a little bit? But then again, they would have had to dilute shares or something like that. So it's, it's a no-win situation on that one, I think. Greenidge obviously is the number 13 spot when it comes to HODL. It is number 7 spot when it comes to production, 118. They're down 17.32%. Okay, I can see that one being down quite a bit here. DigiHost, obviously 11 spots on HODL, 177 BTC. They're in the 14th spot when it comes to production, only 204 BTC. They're down 21%. And then you got obviously Mawson and Soluna down on the 13 HODL position and 12 and 13 spot for BTC production. So I can see that happening there. So looking at the numbers here, you can kind of see that when we look at the chart, Marathon, obviously their HODL position is huge. And then the dark blue is their basically percentage of increase. And you can see that the HODL position does help out the miners here recently. Now, historically, does that help them? I think it has a little bit of impact, but I think for the most part, we're also seeing that the miners that are growing the most seem to do pretty well, if not better than some of these miners. Marathon, for some reason, is just like the golden child of the miners for some reason. Part of the reason could be that they don't have any of their own facilities, I think, that they use hosting providers for the most part, so they're not spending a lot of cash to build out. They're relying on others to do that. Riot, I can also see them being, pretty valuable based on they do have their own facilities. They are growing like crazy. They're doing also immersion cooling. That's going to help them out as well. So I can see possibly that as well. Now, Hut 8 and Hive, they've been GPU mining here for a long time. Hive especially. GPU mining is no longer available to them. I mean, you can still mine some coins, but a lot of the coins are not profitable right now. So you're stuck with them doing new businesses with high computing and other things. We just don't know what kind of revenue is going to be brought in from those. So I'm surprised that they are holding up as well as they have been. I would have thought that these would have been beaten down a little bit more in the past couple of weeks. Also, Marathon, with everything that's going on with Compute North, filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, I would have thought that would have had a negative impact on them. Doesn't seem to have it happen there. And then you got obviously Iris has been growing pretty well. DMG, not so much. Argo has been growing pretty well as well. Core Scientific is growing like crazy, but obviously they are in major debt, so I can see why. They are kind of, down 1.14% from their lows in June. But I think once Bitcoin starts, excuse me. Sorry about that, I had to clear my throat. I think once Bitcoin starts going back up, I think some of these guys that have been beaten down the most will also improve the most. So like Core, Bitfarms, Sphere 3D, well, maybe not Sphere 3D, but like CleanSpark, maybe Greenidge as well. And Mawson has to turns itself around. They're in pretty bad shape with debt as well. So they've been selling obviously to CleanSpark as well. So for right now, it does look like HODL does help. How long is it going to help? And, that's a tough question, because if you do have HODL, you obviously have also dilution. For the most part, you need to fund your operations. You also need to fund growth. So more than likely, they are going to be either taking out loans, diluting shares, something like that, along with possibly Hut 8. Hut 8 also, I think, took out a 200 million ATM or something like that just recently. So that's going to be shareholder dilution as well. Hive is doing the same thing. Iris is doing the same thing, right? So Iris doesn't HODL anything, but they've been just growing really well. And so we'll see. Those are the numbers. You guys can obviously take a look at them, play around with them, and we'll call it a day here. But let me know what you guys think of this. Do you guys actually think that HODL impact has an impact, or does it not have an impact? Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Love to hear from you. All right, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And as always, spreadsheets available to my Patreon members. Thank you to everyone there for their continued support. Love all you guys. Love all the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a great night.